Here she is, my new build, the cheapest C5 Corvette manual transmission, clean title in the entire country that I could find. And I'm going to ruin it with the most extensive build that I've ever done. So before I get to what I'm actually going to do with this, let's explain how I paid so little for this thing. So here's the story. It cost me 10,000 US dollars at the time that I'm filming it. So that was about 14,500 Canadian. Now I'm filming this in the beautiful fall weather, but you guys are not going to see this video until the spring. And the reason I'm doing that is that so the build is all consistent, so you guys get to see the start of the project all the way through into what I'm going to turn it into. So everything is going to come out right after the other as close as I can get. So I'm going to be stockpiling parts all winter for this thing, and by the time you guys are already seeing a video, there's already been a new president for months and stuff. So who knows what the economy's like, who knows what the world's like, and maybe we have world peace. We're gonna find out when we watch this video together. Okay, so there's a couple things wrong with it, obviously, because I got it for so cheap, and I think I'm pretty good with what I paid. Now, the previous owner that I bought it from, we had a little bit of an agreement before buying it, so he listed it at 17,000. I got him down to 15.5 certified. And certified, or safetied, for those of you that don't know, means that it passes the government test, can't be registered. However, I show up after driving several hours to get there, and according to some miscommunication, it's actually not certified. So that meant that I had to lowball more in person because there was more wrong with it, as I discovered as I started to test drive it and everything like that. I don't know if you guys can tell right now, but if you look at this front bumper, it's a little bit mismatched and obviously has been repainted, which is fine because of what I'm doing with this thing. Normally, I'd be a lot more particular, but today, I am definitely not for what I'm getting with this thing. The biggest thing that I think was affected by the gentleman's, I don't want to say he was lying, but I think he might have been lying. He said that the car needs a tie rod, which is fine, whatever, okay, not that expensive. He didn't tell me about the brakes, and when I test drove it, the brakes are the wobbliest. Let's just say they're warped beyond repair. I'm sure you could surface them or whatever, but I'll just be replacing those because part of the build. Biggest thing was that it had a check engine light. Now, that was a fun little thing that I noticed when I got into the car and started it, and I said, hey, what's with the light? Oh, that just happened. Really, Mr. Older Gentleman, that just happened. How convenient that that just happened. Just tell me, just so I'm prepared, but I was prepared anyways. So I did bring my code reader with me, and I actually brought it today again. So let's just show you guys what's going on. So actually, you know what? Let's fire this thing up so you can see the rumble of this stock. That's right, I didn't get a Z06 or anything like that. And the clutches, I'll get to that in a second. Fires up, no problem. And it does have a C6 shift knob. But as you can see, check engine light, which is fine because I was able to scan it with my code reader to determine that it was 2 rear O2 sensors, which again, not the biggest deal, and a air injection system or air injection pump, again, not the biggest deal. So luckily I kind of lucked out in that aspect, but still not a cool move to tell me that it's certified, inspected, and then it has a check engine light. So I'm gonna have to fix all this stuff, obviously. But the thing idles great. Let me just show you guys the engine while it's already running. That clutch is messed up, which I will tell you guys about in a second. So that is obviously part of the fixes. Let's pop the hood. And this is a base model, like I said. The engine, untouched. It's a 5.7 liter V8. I think it makes 350 horsepower-ish, which is going to be plenty for what I want to do with this thing. And there's a couple leaks and things that I've noticed right at the top. There's a bit of a squeal coming from the belt or possibly the alternator, and I've already dealt with that on my C6, so that'll be easy, no big deal. You can see a little bit of oil seepage down in this area. Over here, again, not a big deal. So the engine appears to be healthy. It's got, I think, 216,000 kilometers. So I'll put up whatever that is in miles on the screen, and that's also part of why I got it for so cheap, but it runs. She purrs. The exhaust is a MagnaFlow currently. It's got a nice, reasonable idle. It's not too loud or anything like that. I'll give you guys a quick little rev here. It's almost more induction sound than anything. So I'll be changing that as well, but I'm not going to go crazy on the engine on this build. This is going to be a very different build than anything I've ever done. And I know I've been teasing you guys with what I'm going to be doing, and I will get to that very shortly. But we will be doing full maintenance and everything on this engine. I will be taking it to Race Ready Garage for all of the regular maintenance and to determine everything that's been touched on this thing or needs to be touched. But it is a clean title. I did purchase a Carfax as soon as I got to the gentleman's house and saw the VIN number, because this person would not give me their phone number, would not allow me to speak to them on the phone, wouldn't give me the VIN number. There's a lot of red flags that I was like, you know, this is probably not going to be good, but sometimes the red flags are the reason that you can get such a good deal for cars, which, you know, sometimes it doesn't work out, but sometimes it does. So clean Carfax, all good. Nothing questionable, nothing weird, not much service history, but hey, it's for the intended purpose. Okay, so clutch. Here's what's going on with the clutch. The first bit of travel, there's nothing. And then it's the stiffest clutch pedal almost ever. And this is a hydraulic clutch, so it shouldn't be that stiff. My C6 with a McLeod RST is nowhere near this stiff. My Cobra is not even this stiff. So there's something going on there. The next thing that's going on, it's really hard to actually get this to go into gear and shift it correctly. So like first doesn't really want to engage, second as well, and third is fine, fourth is fine, fifth is fine, sixth grinds and doesn't really, actually, look at that, you can't even get it right now to engage. Let's go first. No, it doesn't even want to go to sixth right now, but on the highway it usually does. So there's something going on with the linkage. I don't think the transmission's actually messed up. There's probably a little bit of grinding going on with some of the synchros, but not the biggest deal. That will all be getting remedied. The interior is actually in really good shape. I will tell you guys that I've already vacuumed this because it was pretty disgusting. There's no way you can buy such a cheap car in this condition. But I mean, to be honest, with just a quick vacuum interior clean, I could probably flip this thing in the spring for at least 5-10 grand more than what I paid for it, but I'm not going to be doing that. I cleaned everything back here, and look at that. This goes right through to the trunk. There's nothing blocking it or anything like that. And if you guys haven't noticed, this is a FRC, or a fixed roof coupe. And no, it is not a Z06. I wanted to get the cheapest one possible because I will be ruining this car. So it's kind of rare to get the base model in the fixed roof coupe. So that's pretty cool to have. I like that. The color, I absolutely hate it. It's not quite silver. It's a pewter color, which is like a champagne-y silver. It's silver with a little bit of beige in it. This is the Miller Lite of cars. This is a champagne of beers. But it's overall in pretty good shape. The suspension is obviously monster truck high because it is all stock. But just looking around, the paint's actually, not that I care for this car, it's actually in really good shape, like very, very good. If I didn't even clean this, this is how it came to me. All right, this is how I picked it up. The swirl marks aren't even that bad. So looks like it's actually been pretty well cared for the most part, which, considering how much I paid, this is pretty impressive. So the worst part is definitely that the front bumper, I don't know if you guys can see that it doesn't quite match, but again, that's totally fine. Just in case you guys think that this side swipe, let me just show you all the way around it. Now we got some really ugly wheels. In my opinion, these are the most steely looking 5 spokes I've ever seen. And we will be changing those out as well as part of the build. And I think that's pretty much it with the exterior right now. So I think it's time to get it back to my house, get it up on the lift, and see what we're actually dealing with underneath this, to see if there's any surprises or anything like that, because I genuinely haven't seen underneath it, and I don't know what we're dealing with. And look at this, we even had tons of tread on the tires, even though we will be swapping those out, but those will be good for what I need to do with this car. So let's get it back to my garage, check it out underneath, see what we're dealing with, and then I'm sorry for teasing you guys, but it's worth it. I'll explain exactly what I'm gonna do with this car. All right, let's go. Okay, so this is genuinely my first time looking at the underbody and the condition of this thing. C6 Z06 is outside, got my inspection light. Let's see what we find. Okay, oh,
So we do have an oil leak. That is 100% defense. Okay, all right, I'll take that. So the oil leak, where is that coming from? Is that just right there? Where the sensor plugs into? This housing? If so, that would be the easiest thing in the world to solve. I don't really see it any higher than that. That might be an easy one. Heck yeah. All right, that could be a win. I'll take that. Let's see what we got here. So the manifold is, oh boy, quite rusty. That's okay. Let's just say we'll be changing those. Oh yeah, okay. So these look original. So those cats are definitely original, probably not doing much anymore. This looks like this was welded on. We got an H pipe. Ooh. Okay, we'll get there in a second. So we do have O2 sensors here. What else do we have here? Okay, so there is an exhaust leak, clearly right there. And we got a yeah, I guess it would be the trans or wherever it bolts to the differential. Not sure, but let's just say we're probably gonna have to do the clutch on this car anyways. So all of this will have to come out, and that will be then an easy fix. We got our original leaf spring suspension. Everything else looks pretty good, actually. No weird wetness or anything like that. Okay. All right, that was a fuel filter, I think. Okay, I'll take it. Interesting. So there's a H pipe with the MagnaFlow cat back over there. Okay, let's go back over here, check all this out. What is going on here? Looks like we do have another leak up there. Yeah, it's definitely wet there. Okay. Oh yeah, oh, she's wet right there inside. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah, right in there. Yeah, okay, so that's definitely wet. Oh, we got a little cooler over here. Oh, it looks like that is a little bit wet. That's okay, we'll be changing out the suspension. Okay, we got ducts for cooling, interesting. Yeah, both sides, okay, cool. Yeah, okay, so we got 3 leaks, at least 3. Not the worst, but to be expected. Not bad for the initial inspection, I would say. All right, we'll see what else this car has in store, because we'll be doing a lot of work on this thing.
Oh, and by the way, something I forgot to show you, the coolest part. Check this out. It actually works, sort of. The screen's a little messed up. It's all faded and everything. But I've got this. Period correct. Who cares, but the audio does work from it, so I guess I can listen to music. So there's that. Oh, and something else I forgot, which isn't as cool. That doesn't work whatsoever. That doesn't hold, nor does the actual parking brake itself. So you have to leave this in gear all the time, if it'll even get into gear. So that's how it stays put. Okay. So there you have it. Corvette guy, #1 Corvette guy. This is what I'm gonna say about this whole Corvette situation. Don't buy a C6 Z06 because it's just gonna turn you straight into a Corvette guy, because that car that I'm staring at on this lift where this camera is mounted is incredible. This car compared to that car, this one's got nothing on that, nothing. But the most refreshing part about what I'm going to do with this thing is that I don't have to care about it. And that's why I've tried to spend as little as possible. I even tried to find a rebuilt title ones, but the cheapest rebuilt title one I could find was $14,000, and it was an automatic. All of the automatics are significantly cheaper than the 6-speeds. This is actually really hard to find. This has the exact same transmission as the C6 Z06 and the Terminator Cobra. I've got all the T56s right here. I'm basically just buying cars for T56s at this point. Okay, so you guys have waited this long for this. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'm very sorry it took this long, but I just wanted to get through everything that was wrong with this and right, and how much I paid for it, and where it's going to sit in the Jacob lineup. I'm going to turn this into a dedicated drift car. This is going to be my track car. At first, I'm going to attempt to drive it to the racetrack and back. Eventually, I'm totally okay with renting a U-Haul and a trailer and getting my Raptor to tow this to the racetrack. But this is going to be my drift car. I never really wanted a drift car, but I started thinking, I'm at this point in my life where I think it would be super fun to have a drift car. And I was looking at many different platforms. I was looking at S197s, probably with the Coyote 5-liter V8. I did find some cheap ones of those, probably around the same price as this one, but from everything I saw online, this thing is basically ready to drift. Well, kind of. It definitely needs more angle. Yeah, even in my preliminary testing, I already knew from the C6, C06 that these Corvettes just don't have enough angle from the factory. So I'm not gonna go super crazy with this. I'm not gonna be competing. I'm not gonna add a welded in roll cage or anything like that, at least not yet. I wanna do this for fun.
It'll be fine, maybe.
I did it again. Ah, fuck! I think it would be something exciting, something different for me to do, because I've always had fun sliding cars, but there's been no official place to be able to do that, and I think it would be super fun to build a car that the one purpose is to slide and have fun. Not lap times, nothing else, just fun. It's kind of like snowboarding, which I used to do a lot of, and this is kind of like getting snowboarding back, except I'm at this point almost 40. So I'm going to be doing the basics to this thing. So number one being an angle kit. Once I take care of all the maintenance, obviously, I'm going to be doing an angle kit. I'm going to be doing, I believe, probably an oil cooler. I think that would be smart. The harmonic balancer should be taken care of. I'm not going to do a full engine build, at least not yet. This thing seems to be pretty healthy so far, and I don't need to blow it up. As funny as this and how privileged I am very blessed to be where I am, and I just think about it every day. This is the slowest car that I own, 350 horsepower Corvette, which is insane to say. And I'm gonna keep it that way for now. Raptor exclusive, that thing has technically more horsepower, but it's got several more tons of weight. But this is definitely the slowest or lowest horsepower car I own, which is insane for my 5 V8 vehicles. So I'm gonna keep it like that, but I will probably be doing the full exhaust just because it helps these things breathe a lot, and I don't wanna go crazy with this. I'm also probably going to upgrade the radiator. I'm gonna go with something I think probably pretty nice because, you know, in between drift sessions on a track, you only get to go for so long, you're going sideways and all that, and then you're gonna be sitting in line waiting for the next time to go. So I think upgrading the oil cooling system as well as the cooling system is probably very smart to do for longevity. And then I'm going to also obviously address the wheels and the tires. Get like a nice little angle kit, get some spacers on there, get this thing looking like a lobster up front, and maybe we'll get a body kit down the road. And oh, hey Rex, hey buddy, you listening to my whole story about the drift Corvette? So I'll be doing that, and then what else will I be doing? Some interior stuff as well. I think I do really want to get a racing seat for it. I think that would be a smart move because these seats are actually in really good shape, but Corvette seats are not exactly known for their bolstering or any of that stuff, and sliding around in these leather seats is very easy to do. And I think I would also get a lot of fatigue by doing that as well. So I think it's smart to just get a racing seat. I will be getting proper helmet, gloves, all that safety stuff that I think is also smart at this point in my life. Possibly a fire extinguisher mounted inside. And I'm also going to be getting a hydraulic handbrake to do, you know, real drifting like Ken Block and those kind of people, and real actual drift people. Formula Drift, don't worry, I'm not going to go there or anything like that. I'm not Adam LZ or anything like that yet. Possibly a harness bar, just for, again, more safety. See if I can get some seat belts, maybe some 4-point, 5.6 point, something like that. I'll figure that out, but I think I'll have to rock the stock belt system for now because I will be driving this on the road. I think legally you're supposed to have both if you install harnesses, so I'll be seeing about that. I would also love to get rid of the steering wheel. and get a quick release, maybe like a dished or dome style steering wheel, something like that. Oh, Rex likes it. Oh, you like the drift Corvette. So I'll be doing that. Obviously addressing the shifter, that whole situation with the clutch. We do have some leaks to take care of, as we just saw, which is fine, to be expected. I talked to the guys at Race Ready Garage and they said nothing was unexpected that they saw. So we will be maintaining all of that. And by the time you guys are watching this, it'll probably actually be maintained by that point. I'm probably not going to be going with a dual caliper rear setup for the hydro brake. I've read about these. Apparently it's kind of difficult to get it to bleed and to work correctly. So at this point in time, I think I'm going to go with a inline hydraulic system. So it uses the existing reservoir rather than a separate reservoir and separate calipers. So you basically just kind of tie into the system and use the existing rear calipers and make sure it all functions like that. The LSD, these come with an LSD stock, so I don't think I'm going to be welding the diff, at least not yet. We'll see how that all works out, but I think from what I've read, these are pretty much ready to go out of the box, again, other than the steering and stuff. Those are probably the major things that I intend on doing, at least right now. I would like to do as little as possible at first and then progress from there. I know some of you probably want to see me just drift this as it is, but with the harmonic balancer not being done and the kind of safety stuff with the oil cooler and all that, I don't really want to take it to a track day bone stock. I'd really rather not blow this up, especially with 216,000 kilometers on it, and who knows what kind of questionable history and oil changes and all that kind of stuff. So I will be maintaining this to the best of my knowledge and abilities. I'll be getting some help along the way. I'll try and do some of the work myself as well, but some of the stuff is just gonna make sense to get the shops to do, because while you're in there, it's already out, you might as well replace this, and that. So, I'll be doing what I can, but I'm very excited to have something different and something I don't have to care about. And I know $14,500 is a lot of money to a lot of people, including myself, but it's so nice to not have to care about so many little things and dings and scratches and repaints and bumpers and all that stuff. It's really refreshing. I think I need that in my life because I care about my cars possibly too much. I feel like I do enjoy them. I get basically all the enjoyment I should probably get out of them, but then I need to wash them and maintain them and make sure like everything's tip top, and that takes a lot of time, and I feel like I just need a change, and I think it'll be good for my mind to just not care about a car, because I haven't even washed this car, and I honestly don't even intend to wash this car. I think this is just gonna be drive it, enjoy it, and that's it. It is what it is. Just maintain it and just get the most fun out of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this slightly different video. Super chill. I want this series to be super chill, and I just wanna have fun. This is me having fun. Not that I don't with any of my other stuff that I do, because I have the best job in the world, but all my other builds and all this stuff is also fun. But man, just like doing something different, not caring, and just shredding tires with a V8, I had to do it. And this is, I think, the best platform for this, the C5s. I know a lot of other guys have drifted these in the States and in Canada, C6s as well, but I didn't have it in me to do a drift build or an angle kit on the C6 Z06 just because it's like, I don't know, $60,000, $70,000 if I sell that thing, which I'm at this point in my life kind of debating selling that. I know it's kind of crazy. I love that car. It's a million times better than this car, but I think it would be fun to have a cheaper car to just beat around in and have fun and like really get everything out of the car, rather than enjoying the C6 Z06 on the streets with, over 700 horsepower. It's a lot of car, and I could save it and just use it for the track, which is also what I'm thinking about. But there's a lot of things that I'm thinking about right now, but I'm just very excited for this, and I hope you guys are too. And I look forward to the series. Thanks for watching. Rex, you're a good boy. Let's go for a walk. All right. See you guys in the next one. Let's go drift build Corvette Jacob.